Kandake Amanirenas was the brave queen of the ancient African kingdom of Kush, located in modern-day Sudan. During her reign, she successfully led the Kushite army against the Romans in a war that lasted for 5 years. Today, she's considered one of the most famous queens of the kingdom of Kush and is referred to as the one-eyed queen, as she had lost an eye while in battle. Amanirenas was born within the periods of 60 and 50 BC. She was married to Emperor Tereketus, who later died in battle during the early periods of the 5-year war with the Romans. After the death of her husband, Amanirenas ascended the throne as ruler of the kingdom of Kush, is the second amongst the 4 Kandakes, queens of Kush. At the time of her reign, the Roman Empire was expanding rapidly as they conquered several territories in Egypt and Britain. As the Romans began pushing the borders in the south of Egypt into the kingdom of Kush, Amanirenas fought bravely to stop them. As queen, Amanirenas was a fierce and merciless warrior as she fought using several war elephants and was known to have 2 lions locked in her palace that she'd regularly feed her captives to. In 24 BC, during a campaign in Arabia, in the absence of the chief magistrate of Egypt, Cornelius Gallus, the new Roman provincial chief magistrate of Egypt, attempted to impose taxation on the kingdom of Kush. And Amanirenas wasn't having any of that, so she and her son Akinidad led the Kushite army into the Roman territories and launched an attack on the Romans, defeating them at Philae and Syene, south of Egypt. After their victory, the Kushite army brought back a bronze depiction of the head of the Egyptian emperor Augustus Caesar, and Queen Amanirenas buried the head under the steps of the entrance of the royal palace. When the new governor of Egypt, Gaius Petronius, who always referred to Amanirenas as the One-Eye Candace, launched a counterattack on the Kushite army with about 10,000 Roman soldiers, pushing deep into their borders, driving the Kushites out of Syene, reclaiming territories, and taking on many Kushites as slaves. Amanirenas did not yield, even after losing her son in battle. She repeatedly launched several counterattacks, including a failed attempt to attack the Roman garrison at Primis, present-day Qasr Ibrim. Still, the Kushite forces refused to concede defeat. Their resistance was beginning to be overwhelming for the Roman forces that later, in 24 BC, both Amanirenas and Augustus Caesar both agreed to a peace treaty that freed Kush from Rome. Amanirenas spent most of her life fighting to defend her kingdom from invaders. She died in 4226, giving Kush another 300 years of freedom from the Romans. Though the kingdom of Kush was abolished in 550 AD, in 1914, some archaeologists dug up the head of Augustus Caesar's statue, the one which had been buried in the entrance of the palace by Queen Amanirenas. To date, Amanirenas remains one of the most significant female African rulers. As if it wasn't for her bravery and strategic leadership, the kingdom of Kush would have been overcome by the Romans.